Hey everyone, welcome to Turkish Spotlight Secrets. Before we start, a quick note, what you're about to hear is a dramatized retelling inspired by common rumor cycles in showbiz, crafted for entertainment. It does not claim to describe real events. Now, settle in, because all the layers are right here in our video. Don't forget to subscribe and share before we continue. Thank you so much. One of the most heated headlines of recent days, in this fictionalized scenario, finally got a response. And it came from the one person at the eye of the storm, Kagate Ulusoy. After days of silence and mounting noise online, the actor, often associated with elegance, restraint, and calm, broke through the speculation and insisted that the truth was far different than the rumors suggested. In this portrayal, his message was clear: there was no infidelity, only an ugly misunderstanding that spun out of control. He held his ground, steady but shaken, as the glare of cameras tried to claim more than he was willing to give. It all began, in our narrative, last week, a dimly lit venue, music curling through the air, and a short clip captured on a phone. In that clip, Kagate appeared to be in an unusually intimate conversation with a young woman, someone commenters quickly assumed was quietly with him that night. The video, no more than a handful of seconds, raced across social platforms like a match strike, igniting commentary from every corner. For some, it was obvious proof. It's clear, the angle tells you everything, they declared. For others, it was simply a moment ripped from context. You can't judge anyone by a single frame, they pushed back, refusing to accept a narrative stitched together by pixels and assumptions. Silence, however, fed the fire. The longer the actor refrained from speaking, the louder the whispers grew. The story multiplied, changing shape as it traveled. And then finally, in this dramatized telling, he appeared at a brand event he represents, stepping onto a carpet that reflected flashes and questions. He chose that moment to speak. He blinked against the lights, his composure poised but clearly burdened. Emotion gathered in his eyes, the cameras were merciless in their closeness. "This isn't what people think," he said, words measured but weighted. "I reject the accusation. The person you saw in that video is my childhood friend. We were catching up for a moment." When the clip was lifted out of context, everything spiraled. He continued, not combative but firm. He described privacy as a fragile glass, transparent when held right, distorted when forced. "My life off camera is my choice to share," he said in our reconstruction. "My marriage is my sanctuary, and I ask for respect." As those words flowed, the room shifted. Reporters, poised with questions, paused. The hush that followed had its own volume. In that silence, what echoed was his exhaustion, and beneath it, conviction. According to sources within this dramatic portrayal, the problem didn't just sprout from the short video. It grew from a long-standing decision by both Kagate and Hazal to protect their household from headlines. Their approach, favoring quiet, refusing to feed speculation, has been part of why they're adored. Grace under pressure, a relationship that seems to prefer reality over show. Yet it also meant that commenters, algorithms, and a culture sustained by constant association had space to build bigger stories out of the smallest shadows. A hand gesture became a signal. A glance became a verdict. A hello became a secret. When everything is content, even breathing in a crowded room is proof to someone. A tabloid commentator in our narrative, the kind who watches every frame with a magnifying lens, remarked, "With this level of visibility, innocence becomes suspect. Even the kindest moment looks like a hint of something else when you put dramatic music on it." It was a sound bite made for clips and captions. Meanwhile, an old friend close to the actor, speaking anonymously in this dramatization, confessed to disappointment laced with fatigue. He's heartbroken. Imagine seeing a friendship turned into a scandal overnight. The hardest part is being misunderstood, and worrying that the noise could touch the quiet places he and Hazal protect at home. The actor's insistence, that this was a misread moment, not a betrayal, seemed, at least temporarily, to shift the tide. The accusations didn't vanish, but the mass certainty began to crack. You could feel it online. People who had posted in anger deleted their words, others reposted the same clip with the sound off, wondering if silence revealed something different. Yet nobody in this story pretends that the tabloid cycle simply ends. New images might surface. Another angle might appear. A stray comment could reignite the whole thing. For the moment, though, he's clear in this retelling, the accusations are false, and he refuses to fan the flames. And then there was the quiet space where he said nothing at all, the social platforms where his profile sat untouched. That silence created a fresh backdraft of curiosity. Fans were used to him being calm, but his restraint here felt different, heavier. So when he spoke at the brand event in this narrative, the relief was genuine. It was the most open he had sounded on private matters in years, and the weight of it sat in his expression. You could read the strain, the pressure of being dissected by strangers, the fatigue of having to translate your character to an audience that believes it already knows you. People close to the situation in our dramatization framed it not just as a misunderstanding but as a subtle breach of trust between the actor and the public conversation surrounding him. Seeing even ordinary bonds, like a childhood friendship, amplified into something scandalous was painful. The cameras captured the micro-expressions, the breath he drew before each sentence. His face, normally a portrait in total control, seemed to say, "Please, just listen, and let this be enough." Online, it was chaos flavored with loyalty. Some followers wrote long messages about believing in patience and context. Others insisted that the images themselves couldn't be waved away by explanation. The debate became a referendum on what a screen can prove. If a camera catches a moment, does it define what that moment means? Or does meaning require the missing minutes around it? It's a question that has haunted countless names, and here it pressed against him too, while Hazal, in this account, kept her own counsel, silent, measured, choosing not to feed the machine. Their shared history and public poise weren't louder than a trending hashtag, but they were steady. Behind the scenes in our dramatized world, the actor sketched out a plan: prioritize work, lean on the friends who know the unedited version of him, and keep the home he shares with Hazal quieter than ever. You could see it in his posture, the way he answered without flinching, the calm he reclaimed by saying just enough, not more. If there's a lesson to carry from this portrayal, it's how quickly a rumor sprints and how slowly the truth walks in behind it, how the rush to judge ends up standing on shaky legs. After his comments, even the press tone shifted in this story. Headlines softened by a degree, the edges rounded out. The days prior had felt more certain. Now, the certainty belonged to doubt itself. Many accepted his sincerity. The phrase "you can hear he means it" dotted timelines. Others remained wary, saying that sincerity is a performance too. That division is part of the modern ritual, and it played out again here. Yet the image of him, offended but resolute, settled into the coverage like a watermark, not easily erased. Friends in this depiction shared that, throughout, he tried to stay composed and deny oxygen to speculation. It wasn't about winning a battle online, it was about sustaining the boundaries that keep a life whole. The personal discipline he brings to sets, routine, care, attention, mirrored the way he guarded his home. If anything, the episode showcased the cost of fame's fragile glass, how it chips at the edges, how it reflects back 100 versions of you that have nothing to do with who you are when the camera's cut. The velocity of this misunderstanding reminded everyone, again, how delicate famous lives can be when they're refracted through millions of eyes. His words carried a message to fans and press alike: privacy is not a riddle to solve, but a right to be honored. In this dramatization, that stance didn't just clear smoke around his name, it underscored his professionalism and the value he places on the space he shares with Hazal. People may have arrived expecting a spectacle. What they found was a line he wouldn't let the noise cross. What happens next in this story's world? Another angle of the same clip could appear tomorrow, or a new account could go viral by sunrise. The current may change again. But for now, within this narrative, he has said what he needed to say. He rejected the allegation, explained the context, and declined to let gossip paint his reality. The frenzy slowed, even if it didn't disappear. So we close this dramatized chapter with a simple reminder: the tale you witness online is rarely the whole tale. Thank you for watching Turkish Spotlight Secrets. If you enjoyed this fictionalized account inspired by the pressures of the spotlight, remember to subscribe and share. Until next time, take care and be kind with the stories you choose to believe.